going on, guys? My name is Trevor and welcome back to the channel. Antman the Wasp Quantumania just came out, making it the 31st MCU movie. So today I'm giving you my spoiler thoughts on this movie. Jump your way down below in the comment section. Let me know your spoiler thoughts on this movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? It's not sitting very well on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Are you on that side of the fence? Or are you more on the audience score, which is in the mid to high 80s? Let me know all that down below in the comment section. I'm going to start this off with I'm on the more of the positive side. I'm going to let you know why maybe the critics are wrong this time around as to why this movie is actually pretty good. Leave a like, it really helps out with the channel, and let's get into this. So, heading into this movie, I wasn't the most excited. I've been talking about it for a long time that I just didn't have a lot of anticipation for this movie. The trailers didn't really sell me. It looked like a CGI fest that I just wasn't ready for, and I didn't really know a lot about the character of Kang. The movie starts off like they always do with Antman movies. Everything's kind of happy-go-lucky. Scott Lang's almost retired. He's enjoying the life post-Avengerism. He wrote a book. He's out there living his dreams while Cassie's getting arrested trying to do things she wished her dad would do. He has those lines to him that are almost little jabs at him, like, at least I'm trying to do something. I get it. She's a rebellious teenager. She was by herself for all those years during the blip, so how she's acting, how she's behaving honestly made sense. A lot of people talked about Cassie's performance and how it was just dreadful. She had some cool lines throughout there, and while she might have been a little cheesy, I thought her performance overall was solid. After everything's been happy and go lucky, we find out that Cassie's like a genius, and she's found out a way to like almost communicate with the quantum realm. Janet, I think it's Hope's mother, she kind of loses her shit a little bit, and she's like, you need to shut it down now, and boom, they get sucked in the quantum realm. Then they're flying through space. It's like Star Wars in space. So much is happening in the first 30 minutes, which I can agree on with the masses. It's messy. It seemed kind of all over the place. All of a sudden, we're in the quantum realm and Star Wars, and that's the exact vibes you got. You feel like you're at a cantina getting a drink, and there's a bunch of little aliens looking around you. It literally looked like the same designs you get from a Star Wars video game in this movie. Kind of threw me off just a little bit. All the while, Hank's hearing this thing with his hearing aid throughout it. That comes into play later in the movie. I thought that was nice foreshadowing they did. They did a little flashback to that moment. I picked up on it right when I watched it. I said, I think that might come into play later because why is he fidgeting with his hearing aid so much? And turns out it's a big part of the third act. Gang is completely split up. You have Hank, Hope, and Janet together who are all trying to find out what the secret is that Janet's holding and who is the conqueror. Why is she scared of him? Who is this guy? We have to figure it out. Then Scott Lang, who's really trying to be a dad, and Cassie are trying to figure it out, and so he's dealing with his rebellious teenager who's been arrested just like he has. So two different storylines going on. All the lingering of this was that Kang was coming after them because he needed to get to Janet, and Janet was a sacred name throughout everywhere. Everyone knew the name Janet. She's like, oh my god, Kang is coming, Kang is coming. And we had no idea why. The whole movie was like a big secret that Janet was keeping from us. And why was she keeping it from us? Why didn't she just tell her family who are part of the Avengers, who can help her out? And Iron Man's not even here anymore, but you had Iron Man on her team at one point. Scarlet Witch, all these people. You could have gotten help. It just seemed kind of silly that she didn't want help. So, I digress. Bill Murray shows up in the movie for a little bit, and honestly, I thought it was just dumb. His character was just dumb. He had like a love thing with Janet for a while, and again, it was just silly and it was dumb. They have a cool spaceship. Again, all feels like Star Wars quite a bit. They head off, and they're going to try to go find Scott Lang and Cassie, who get picked up by like these Ravagers, these revolutionaries, these people who were like, I guess, free people who were trying to revolt against Kang. Gets picked up by them, and their designs were awesome. The little gooey guy, I don't remember his name, I thought he was hilarious. How many holes do you have? That joke, I'm sorry, I laughed uncontrollably. The dude with like a laser head, that was sweet, that was so cool. And eventually, long story short, Scott Lang and Cassie get picked up by Kang. Jonathan Majors comes in, and boom, right then and there, I was hooked on screen because to me, he's one of the greatest working actors today, and by far outacts everyone in this movie. A couple things he does are a little bit cheesy. His facial expressions, he's kind of like pouting a little bit. But we get a lot of backstory on Kang. I see a lot of complaints that we don't get a lot of backstory on Kang, but the backstory that we got, I really dug. It's like him and Janet were almost in love at one point. She helps him build like his time machine, essentially, so he could kind of travel through the world and take over and destroy everything. And she attaches to that and sees what's in Kang's mind and sees that he is truly a monster and he is truly a conqueror, Kang the Conqueror. And they have a falling out, and Janet escapes, leaving Kang in the quantum realm, which he completely takes over. He's going to make a huge revolt, and he's going to get all this huge army together so he can take over essentially the universe. It seems like such a basic cliche whole like villain story, but essentially that's kind of what's happening. And Kang's been around for so many different timelines, from here to there, from here to there. And when he's talking to Scott Lang, he's like, you're an Avenger. How they killed you before? I need a what if episode about that. Kang killing Tony Stark, Kang killing Thor. Because he's like, are you the one with the hammer? You're like, whoa, had a very funny line in there where Scott Lang's like, no, we get mistaken a lot, same body types. Again, I laughed my ass off. Somewhere in the midst, we get introduced to MODOK, who's Darren from the first Ant-Man, and I'm sorry, this looked just like George Lopez from Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I mean, when I saw him the whole time, I just couldn't get that out of my head. I was like, oh my goodness, that's so Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Dream, 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 dream. Anyways, I digress off that. MODOK was just odd looking, and MODOK stands for like mechanical organism designed for killing or something, like a designed of killing. Who freaking knows? That's exactly kind of what he stands for. He's like the ultimate weapon for Kang, and you gotta see Kang's powers a little bit, and his powers are, I guess, unexplored for this movie. We don't really know because MODOK tries to talk and like Kang just puts his fingers up and like throws them against the wall. Again, like Star Wars, he uses the Force, and he's just so calm. Like his number one weapon, like I guess like his servant, is he's like, do not speak when I'm in the room. You're like, oh, you feel it. You really get gravitated towards that. So it starts to show that Kang is really badass, and he's basically like, tells Scott, if you don't get Janet and you don't go get this big thing that I need for my ship so I can travel through time and basically kill everyone, I will kill your daughter. Scott, you need to work for me or Cassie is going to die. Before we carry on with the rest of the spoiler review, if you hit that like button and subscribe button, trying to get to 3,000 subscribers here by the summertime, I really appreciate it. So long story short, Scott is working for Kang so that Cassie can be freed and she doesn't get killed. He's doing what a good dad would do, and he's going out there to do it. And Jen tells everyone her history with Kang, how they were almost lovers, and she saw what a conqueror and mean he was, and you should have used the Avengers when you had them at your disposal, but you just didn't. And it didn't make any sense, and I don't like Janet for that reason. Scott gets brought into this thing where he tries to get this part, I guess, that Kang needs for a ship so he can, and the thing he needs to be able to do what he needs to do. He goes in there, there's this weird scene where everyone keeps popping out of him. I thought that was a little cheesy, a little bit odd, but it was a little bit silly and fun as well. This movie had a lot of cheesy moments, and honestly, I appreciate it. While this is all happening, he gets it for Kang, and Kang's here to fight them, attack him, and here came Janet and Hope and Scott. They're there to fight Kang, and this is right around the time about we're kind of getting to the third act, and the third act, I think, is either going to work or not work for people. We've seen it time and time again. Avengers Endgame, Ready Player One, Rise of Skywalker, those like free people that I was talking about in the beginning of the movie, they all come back to fight Kang. It's epic, it's heroic. Scott and Hope are whooping up on Kang, and Scott gets huge, like the biggest he's ever been, and he's whooping up on Kang. And Kang, for the most part, is just destroying these people. It's kind of insane how powerful he was. But also, I'm like, Ant-Man's beating you. Now, I love Ant-Man, don't get me wrong, I think he's powerful, but of all the Avengers, Ant-Man's whooping on you right now. Kind of took me off of Kang just a little bit, like, are you that tough? The whole free people come in, it's a huge revolt, it's a revolution, it's cheesy, it's fun, it's action-packed, you kind of have chills, you're like, nice. I was hoping we had a third act big setup, and we did. I really thought it was going to be like a lower stakes MCU movie where it's just going to be Kang fighting Ant-Man, and maybe Ant-Man's going to die, but a huge war happened, and I was here for it. And Kang's basically whooping up on Hope and Janet and everyone, and all of a sudden, here came Hank, and a little thing he was hearing in his hearing aid happened to be the ants. They lived for centuries and thousands of centuries in just the one day they were there, because time works extremely weirdly in the quantum realm. So the ants became so smart, created all this different software, and dude, it was cheesy, but I loved it. All the while that Kang is getting his ass whooped by Ant-Man, and they're fighting, it's gory, it's bloody, Cassie and MODOK are fighting, and she has a hilarious line of, don't be a dick. I thought it was funny. I really did. And then here came MODOK to go and fight Kang, like at the very end. He came in, he's like, I'm not a dick! Dude, again, it was hilarious, and I was saying it loud to people. Don't be a dick, because people right now, they're dicks. And then Scott Lang is living his life, everything's good, and has the epiphany that maybe Kang's not dead. Maybe Kang is still alive. Oh my goodness. And he starts to spiral down that rabbit hole of, oh my gosh, did we not kill Kang? And then instead, of course, Kang will return. We have two post-credit scenes. The end credit scene is with Loki and Owen Wilson, Mobius, and they see a version of Kang, a variant of Kang, and which was a pretty cool end credit scene. But the mid-credit scene, a lot of people were hating on. I kind of thought it was interesting. It had every variant of Kang there was, because Kang the Conqueror is supposedly dead, so every variant of Kang came together, and there was thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of these Kangs, and it's safe to say the Kang Dynasty is going to have a lot of these variants all working together, and the Avengers are going to have to team up. And that's pretty much how the movie ended up, wound up, and pitched. I definitely forgot some stuff in there, but if you take away anything from this video, don't be a dick. But what did you guys think of Antman and the Wasp? I'd love to know all that down below in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe button, as we are trying to hit 3,000 subscribers here by summertime. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.